Hey, it's Ben from Detachment, and you're listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience.
And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is your host, Chris, and I have a very special guest in the studio. I have Rob and Ben of Detachment. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing good, man.
Doing good. Happy to be here.
All right, so just so everyone gets used to your voice, they know who's speaking at what time. Do you guys want to just introduce yourselves, your name, what you do in the band?
Hi, I am Rob. I sing and scream and stuff.
I'm Ben. I play the drums.
There we go. Dude, thank you guys so much for coming out.
No problem, man.
Like I said off air, it's always a pleasure to actually have the band in studio. Most things, it's really hard to get a band in studio, so especially you guys are coming from Long Island, so.
Traffic was awful, let me tell you.
Yeah, dude. I hear about it all the time with just, like I was saying, like sometimes I went to like Islander games and stuff like that in Nassau, or, just Barclays Center and all that stuff. I mean, that's Brooklyn, but still, like, just traffic going to New York, always going to be brutal. But so now that you guys are here and you guys are from Long Island, I always wanted to talk about like the Long Island scene there. I know it's a little bit different than what we have here in Jersey. We have a lot of hardcore over here. What do you guys have going on in Long Island?
We have a lot of hardcore too. Definitely one of the biggest challenges coming out of Long Island is just the oversaturation of bands from Long Island, because it's easy to get. No, I'm not disrespecting anybody; they're all awesome. But like, since there's so much bands from Long Island, it's kind of hard to stand out from them. So like, that's definitely been a challenge for us. But like, it's at the same time, like, it's definitely a very thriving scene over there because there's so many of them.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like, last 10 seconds of your life. You play shows with them, right?
We played one show with them back in March, yeah.
Yeah, those guys throw down pretty hard. And then I know Moontooth is out from there, too.
Mm-hmm. We actually, we share the same studio with them. And, we're not, tight with them, but, we know them very well. And, they're blowing up right now. Like, we're really proud to be friends with them.
Dude, I was talking to Ray, the drummer, and he owns the studio, right?
Correct. Yeah, him and Anthony.
Yeah.
And Anthony's not in the band, but, those two.
Okay, yeah, and he was just telling me how it's really cool over there at his studio, because that's in Long Island, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how'd you guys get that studio? How'd you book it and all that?
I think it was Nick. Yeah, our guitarist Nick, who goes to Five Towns. I think he knew one of his classmates from Five Towns College, Steve. Who was the one who hooked us up there, and that's where we practiced. That's where we recorded the CP. That's where the songs you're about to hear tonight. This is where we recorded them. So
yeah, the EP coming out, Gaslight. I was actually surprised because I thought it was gonna be a self-titled. Usually people do that and stuff, but why Gaslight?
We've done with our previous band names. We did the self-titled thing, and I think this time we wanted to try something different, giving it an actual title, something that kind of applied but wasn't just a name of a song that we were, especially proud of, just something that kind of represented the whole feel and also kind of just what we wanted it to look like. We thought that represented it better than Detachment by itself.
Yeah. Well, I like the album art, I gotta say. I like the color scheme too, with like that beige, I guess you call it, and red. Yeah. That was cool. So it's smart on that. And I think it's 7 tracks, right?
That's right. 7.
Yeah, 7 tracks. So I'm going to play you one right now. It's called Million Eyes. Do you guys want to give like a little intro about it?
It was the first song that, actually that's not true. The first song that we wrote as Detachment, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
When we were getting ready to change our name, thinking about different names, we just settled on Detachment, and this was the first song that we sat down and wrote of, I guess, what we would call the Detachment era of our lives.
Yeah.
So we're happy that you're hearing it first.
Here we go, Million Eyes. And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is your host, Chris, and with me, I have the band Detachment. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good.
So just saying that your band name Detachment, and we listened to Million Eyes, what came up, how'd you guys come up with the name Detachment? I know that's a very generic question. Bands usually don't like getting that, but I have to know.
Sure. The name represents just how I was, I guess, feeling at the time. I felt like my emotions and my thoughts were very disconnected from what I was doing. Like, it felt like my brain was separated from my body physically. Like, I wasn't feeling the things that were happening. So I thought it just really represented how I was feeling at the time and what I was going through.
Okay.
If that's a generic answer, I don't know.
But, no, I get it.
One of the reasons why we changed the name in the first place was because we were previously called From Hollow Veins, and I think one of the problems we ran into is nobody remembered the name. People would always, I would get people at work saying to me, "Oh, Ben, how's your band? These Hollow Veins," or "How's Hollow Veins gone?" I'm like, no, it's from Hollow Veins. Even people at shows, I remember.
Announcing us as in
as
here's Hollow Veins.
or
It's
just
like, no.
when after we were done playing, the headliner would be like, "Let's hear it for all the bands, X band," and then Hollow Veins. I'm like, no, that's not our name, man. So it's like, so yeah, we finally.
Or we had someone call us Hollow Earth one time. That was pretty good.
I think that actually is a band, right?
Yeah,
probably.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's probably why.
But I remember I was working at it doesn't sound relevant, but it's relevant. I was working at Dairy Barn, and one night both my guitarists pull up, and he's like, "Ben, come here, I gotta tell you something." And I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "All right," because I was a little hesitant about changing the band name. Like, I understood the problems they were having, but like we already done a lot as that name, so I was a little hesitant about it. But our guitarist Nick just looked at me and he's like, "Ben, listen to me. We're called Detachment now." And I was just like, "All right, I can't fight it anymore. We're Detachment now." And that was, and then here we are.
I personally like it. When I first heard it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm usually my friends kind of call me a hater when it comes to band names. I usually don't like many band names. I think even some of my favorite bands have stupid band names.
Agreed.
Like Machine Head. I love Machine Head. I know a lot of people don't like them anymore, but Machine Head is such a dumb name.
It's such a ripoff of Motorhead,
Yeah,
what I mean?
and Deep Purple as well. It's so stupid, and it's the the headstock in your guitar and all that.
I think
Machine
Deep
Head.
Purple's a cool name, but yeah, definitely know what you're talking about.
And then System of a Down is like it sounds cool, but it's also kind of silly at the same time in my opinion. I know some people like it because I think it was actually supposed to be called not System of a Down, right? It's supposed to be not Down, System of something.
I'm not familiar
actually
with.
not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up listening to them a little bit. I'm not sure of their history, but
Yeah. That was like one of my childhood bands, like gateway bands.
Hell yeah.
I would say them, Mudvayne, Korn, and Slipknot were all gateway bands for me. And Linkin Park.
I still love all of those bands.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just as much.
So what do you guys kind of listen to? What kind of like inspires your music, influences, stuff like that?
A lot of things. We're very into just different kinds of hardcore and metal music. I know for me, on my end, I'm into a lot of post-hardcore, like Glassjaw, Let Live, stuff like that, and also a good amount of rap music. I would say with guitars, we're very into stuff like Norma Jean, Every Time I Die, that kind of stuff. We're definitely trying to be kind of in that world, but keep it metal. If you want to talk about some,
and like I'm definitely the metalhead of the band. I love Slipknot and Suicide Silence, but I also the newer bands. I love Cane Hill and Code Orange, and I think we definitely have even some like Knocked Loose and Code Orange like influences on the EP. Especially with Rob's screams, like sound very similar to the Code Orange, the Knocked Loose, and like because that's definitely a demographic like we're trying to aim towards, but with also like the melodicness of Norma Jean and Every Time I Die. But me personally, I keep my personal tastes separate from the band because like when I'm listening to music, that's my recreational life. I just like to be left alone and just like relax. Yeah. And then when there's band life, it's all about getting to work and like figuring out like this and that. So I kind of keep those two things separate. That's just me.
I do agree with that a little bit because I do listen to a lot more calmer types of music when I am not playing heavy music, but I definitely try to let those influence what I'm doing. And I think you hear that a little bit. Whether it's like just I don't know, some of the softer parts of the songs, you hear some of the softer bands we listen to, because we're also into like the balance and composure type of music. I think between all of us, besides Ben, that's one of our favorite bands that we've seen a bunch of times in a bunch of places.
Are they still around?
No, we actually, most of us saw them at their last show at Philly. We drove out for that.
Oh, really?
That was a great experience, yeah.
Because I know my friend, we used to kind of, like, not make fun of him, but joke around with him a little bit, because he always used to wear a Balance and Composure shirt. So, like, that was kind of like...
shirts, I
dude,
think.
it was his, like, nickname for a while. It was perfect. Like, yo, Balance and Composure over here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's kind of funny that you said that. And shout out to Norma Jean, you mentioned them.
Absolutely.
Dude, that new album, All Hell.
Yeah.
So good. I actually wrote my album review for Metal Insider, because I do that on the side. Yeah, I wrote my album review for Norma Jean, and that's definitely going to be, All Hell is definitely going to be in my top 3 albums of this year. Dude, that album, it slams so hard, right?
It's so surprising with them. It's like, I almost feel like every album they come out with is better. I enjoy it more, at least.
Dude, I said that. I'm like, with Polar Similar, the album that came out before.
I thought that would be the best thing they ever came out with.
I was like, how are they going to top this right now?
Right.
It was crazy, but we'll throw on some Norma Jean as well. I'm not going to play your next single yet because I want to, spread it out a little bit. But this one is going to be Fit for an Autopsy. You guys a fan of them?
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
Those guys, I think most of them, well, actually, no. I guess they're Jersey, but I think Joe, the lead singer, is from Long Island as well, right?
When I used to work at Petco, I sold him 3 leopard geckos.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
He
cool.
walked in the store right before we closed, said, "Give me all your leopard geckos."
Wow, dude, just following him on Instagram, he's like one of the funniest dudes.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh like every time. But all right, Birds of Prey, Fit for an Autopsy. This comes off their brand new album, The Sea of Tragic Beasts. Here we go.
Do it.
Hey guys, it's Blake from Between the Bear to Me, and you are listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience. Yeah.
And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is your host, Chris. It's 8:49, and I have the band Detachment in studio. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing swell.
Doing it as well. Yeah.
Swell. There we go. That's usually the one I like to say. Swell. Life is peachy, right? Nice little corn reference right there. Yeah, so we just enjoyed some Fit for an Autopsy. It was a double dose. I played Napalm Dreams and Birds of Prey, both off the brand new album, The Sea of Tragic Beasts, a Nuclear Blast release. And then, obviously, we played a Detachment song called Million Eyes off their upcoming EP, Gaslight. So, with Gaslight, you guys actually are going to play a brand new track. This one hasn't been heard before. You guys want to tell us a little bit about it?
I think it's the heaviest song on the album. I think it's
Debatably.
But I decided to put it first because it's just such a punch to the gut. I think it gives the listener like a really good feel for what they're in for the remainder of the album. And it's just you hit play and it's just right there. So
That is the truth. Yeah, it is definitely right at the gate.
Well, it's smart that you guys put it as your first track. What would you say is the heaviest if it's not Choke?
I just think it's debatable, and depending on how you think about it, because there's a whole singing part and a tiny little soft bit in this towards the end, but some of our songs have no singing. I would say maybe Centipede or I don't know.
probably Centipede and Counter Charisma are the two heavy.
Centipede,
or Choke.
yeah, Centipede or Counter Charisma, because Counter Charisma is almost all screaming. Centipede is, I think, equally heavy,
Okay.
but you won't hear that tonight.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually excited to hear Choke as well because I have not heard it. So here we go, guys.
Hi, this is A.L. Levy from the URM Academy in Nail the Mix, and you're listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience.
And welcome back to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is your host, Chris. And I have Detachment in the studio. What's up, guys?
What's up?
So we were just talking about Norma Jean before, saying how awesome they were. We were talking about like All Hail, how that's like probably one of the best albums of the year. So I'm gonna play this song. It's called Kareen. It's I feel like it has everything about Norma Jean I love. It has like that heaviness. It has that like melodic chorus singing, and also has like that they're just really weird instrumental parts. So without me talking, whatever. Here's Korean.
Hey, it's Rob from Detachment, and you are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Woo! There we go. It's 902 here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Detachment is in the studio. We got Rob and Ben. What's up, guys?
What's
What's
up?
up?
Having a great time.
Yo, killing it with the station shot right there, dude. Nice.
Thank
There
you.
you go. Now I'm going to be using that on my show all the time. Like you've been hearing, I have Jim Brewer and Trivium and random people on here.
Yeah,
so.
I heard Between the Bear to Me before. That's cool.
Yeah,
Now we got
they're
Rob.
the coolest guys right there. They're actually playing Brooklyn Steel with Chan.
That's a nice show.
Saturday 30th. November 30th. So I'm going to make my way out there. Hopefully bank an interview with one of those dudes because they're so much fun to talk to.
Hope so.
Yeah, Paul Wagner loves talking about his coffee.
Yeah,
So as Detachment, you guys going to get your own coffee?
that would be great. That would be
I
the
am,
dream.
I've been an avid coffee drinker since I was 14.
Ben
so
drinks
There you
coffee
go.
black, no sugar,
That's
just
right.
straight coffee. So if we made
Black
coffee,
metal.
it would have to be good enough to drink straight. I promise that.
I felt that it alleviated the stress of 8th grade at the time, so
There we go.
never stopped drinking.
I didn't actually start until I got here in college. I think I was a junior. Yeah, junior in college. And I just one class, I was like, I'm so tired right now. How am I going to stay up? I'm like, I'm just going to try this coffee thing. And I was like, it's amazing. And then, when you start drinking, you need more and more. And
Yeah.
all that stuff. Because originally, I actually hated the taste of coffee.
I loved it.
I thought it was gross. Coffee ice cream was cool.
Mhm.
So I always threw like caramel, sugar, milk, everything in there. Now slowly, like I actually do drink black coffee sometimes. It really depends. Like cold brew?
Exactly.
Love that.
I was gonna say that cold brew is what's gotten me into black coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like I just love the pure taste of the coffee bean. You know, I always have.
Yeah.
I don't want to
So you
mix
like
it in with
bold?
anything else. Yeah. Do I like a cold?
No, bold.
Oh, bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool. No, because I know some people don't really like that. Like Colombian. I know.
I
That's
love
like...
Colombian.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
Every time I go to 7-Eleven, I specifically get the Colombian coffee. So.
Do you try the Ethiopian at Wawa? That one's actually pretty good.
We don't have Wawas by us really. When we make it out to one.
Oh, really?
Next
I
door.
forgot. Yeah, Long Island over there. Yeah, actually, because the closest one here is Lodi, and that finally opened up like 2-3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So like I was like, yes. Usually after my show, I stop there if I'm hungry enough. But now I have donuts, so I'm good.
Yes, thank you for the donuts.
Yeah, dude, no
Thank you.
problem. So talking about this album right here, we have the physical copy. Well done with it, dude. Very well done. Who did the artwork? Who did the booklet? Like, tell me all about that.
The front was done. I'm sorry. Now that you talk about it, I don't want to not give guys their credit.
No, it's cool. Like the backing art with like the wolf and the man or whatever.
That was done by
That was cool.
our
Oh,
manager.
No,
Art.
see that one again. I don't want to credit the wrong people.
I really like the scheme you guys are going. I kind of like that.
The front and back were done by two different people. But
Yeah, the front was done by a guy called Micah_Ulrich on Instagram. He does great stuff that looks very similar to the cover, except we had him do the colors a little bit different than most of his stuff is like black and white. The back was done by a guy our manager knows. And yeah, the logo also is the same guy who did our personal logo because it's the same little symbol.
Yeah,
And then the dog one was another guy I found on Instagram.
that's funny that Instagram is like reaching out to so many people now.
That's the only way I'm finding artists right now. That's the
Yeah.
only thing I'm using Instagram for is to follow artists and get more merch made, get more designs done.
Yeah. So do you guys have merch going on?
We have a shirt that is the guy with the dog. We're going to sell that on our merch store that I am literally making right now.
Okay. So you're making a merch store?
I'm making like a website that people will be able to buy shirts from, and we'll be shipping them out. Yeah.
Oh, dude, awesome. Okay.
So once that's up, people will be able to get that shirt. Other than that, at our shows we sell 2 different shirts. One that just says our name, and one that is that guy with the dog. That's on our EP. You can see that on Instagram.
Okay, cool. That's awesome that you guys are actually getting a website. I know a lot of people just do through like Bandcamp and stuff like that. Do you guys have Bandcamp?
I don't even know if we do, to be honest with you.
I think we had one like
We had one
long
at
time
one
ago.
point.
As
We're kind of bad
maybe.
with that stuff. I know how this one website I know works, so I'm gonna stick with it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not good at learning new things.
No, I hear you. Just having my show, I just hate having all these platforms to deal with. Personally, I hate Facebook. I think it's a bunch of spam and it's always cluttered. But I know you need it for your show or
Yeah.
your band or whatever.
Yeah, I
you're trying to
deleted the
promote.
Facebook app off my phone. I just use it for the Messenger and the Pages app to run our band page and
Yeah.
talk to people for band stuff. But social media is
Oh,
all about.
Pages? You can use that for your band? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I use that to run the band page, Messenger to talk to the people I need to talk to, and then I get rid of the physical Facebook app. Absolutely, I never use it except to. I never use any social media except for band stuff, really.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that because Facebook I don't use at all. I just have it linked to whatever I post on Instagram.
Mhm.
You know, it posts on there as well. And people are like, yo, I commented it on something on Facebook. You never answered.
Right.
I'm like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I post a meme every now and then, but
Yeah.
scarcely.
We're really working on the Instagram right now.
Well, so people can find you like and listen to your stuff. Like, where can they go?
Mostly facebook.com/detachmentny and Instagram.
on Instagram,
it's
it's
detachment_band.
Yeah,
Those
it's-
are our 2 biggest platforms right now where we're advertising everything we have right now.
And to
Okay.
listen to it, you can hear it on Spotify, buy it anywhere music can be bought. But yeah, Spotify to hear any of the music we have out already, iTunes, pre-order, whatever.
The video is also on YouTube,
Yeah.
so definitely check that out.
Yeah, we got the video for Counter Charisma out already.
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that because that's the next song I'm going to key you up about
Mm-hmm.
that. So that was your first music video. I know a lot went into it.
First
tell me a
music
little
video
about
in
it.
our lives, yeah. In all the bands we've been in, never done a music video. That was the first one.
Well, usually a lot goes into it. It's pricey. Sometimes the getting everyone together and
Mhm.
doing it correctly. Because the worst thing I think for a band is to put out bad music video.
Mm-hmm.
Like when a band puts out
Or a generic one.
yeah,
like that,
because
too.
when you see that, you don't take them seriously.
Yeah, because
You're
like they could spend a lot of money on it, a lot goes into it, but it just comes out as like not interesting, and then nobody cares. So they put all this effort in for nothing. Yeah.
So who'd you use? How'd you guys get started?
Our friend Gio, who goes here, to introduce us to his friend James, who made it for us. James Klim,
yeah.
Yeah, James Klim. He did great work for us. He came out by us in Long Island. We rented some studio space and just spent a couple days hanging out with him, and he did a great job. Really great to work with.
Yeah. On the surface, it's just the five of us playing, but he... just all the editing and special effects that he did are truly what makes the video.
Yeah, he puts a lot of work into what he does, and the next time we use him, we're definitely going to use more of his talents than just getting some cool shots of us live.
So it took like 4 days to film?
Just a couple days.
Just
honestly.
2, I think.
Just two.
Yeah,
we were thinking about adding a third, decided we didn't need to.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, because it's 3.5 minutes, right? The song?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
About
So that's actually a good time period. I know sometimes with like...
That's what I go for.
Yeah, songs that could take like a week sometimes. Sometimes they just do bands and knock it out in 12-hour days, depending on the song length. But I think 4 days for that, or a couple days, whatever you said.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All right, so what's the song about, if you guys want to talk about the meaning?
The song's about the guy on the inside of the thing, Diogenes. It's the picture of that guy and the dog in there, or what it's supposed to represent anyway. It's just about a particular view on philosophy and cynicism in a way that I kind of tied it into the modern world or whatever, in my opinion. It's about being authentic, about being genuine to the kind of person you are.
Okay, cool.
Most of all.
Here's Counter Charisma.
Hey, this is Ben from Detachment, and you are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
It is currently 9:15 here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and we're killing it tonight with Detachment. What's up, guys? How you doing tonight?
Doing swell again.
Swell again.
Swell. I like that. Actually, it was funny enough at my my job. Every time a customer would come by, they're like, "Oh, hey, Chris, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm swell." And now that was like a thing. I said it once, and now every time she got such a kick out of it. She saw me every time. She's like, "Oh, how you doing today?" And I'd be like, "Good," because I forget I said swell. And she's like, "No, you're doing swell." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay."
I always say, I usually say decent when people ask me how I am. They're like, Ben, how you doing? I'm like, I'm decent. Always decent.
You're not complacent right here.
I should use that one.
So right now we got we just heard Counter Charisma. Awesome job, guys, on the video and on the song as well.
Thank you.
I think that's how you close out the album, correct?
Yes, that's right.
All right, cool. And why did you choose that one to close it out?
I think it was best to end it how it began, because it starts out with Choke, the song that we previously played, which is a really heavy song, and then it takes the listener on like a journey of like some more heaviness, then some melodic stuff, then some really melodic stuff, then it goes back into some heavy stuff, and then it ends right where it began to some like probably arguably the heaviest song on the album. So it's kind of like a U-turn sort of way. It starts out really heavy, goes like in some curves, and then it ends like in the same heaviness as the first song.
And how long did you guys like write this? 'Cause I know like last year we actually played Million Eyes on my show, and you said that was the first song you guys wrote together.
As Detachment, that was the first song we wrote together, but we actually have one song that we wrote, the song Dearborn, we wrote in Dearborn, Michigan on our first ever tour. So that was back in the day. As From Hollow Veins, we wrote that song.
Also, Choke is From Hollow Veins, too.
That was also a From Hollow Veins song. So while Million Eyes was the first song we wrote as Detachment, those songs are technically written from our old band. So that's what makes the timeline so long. The last song that we finished, so that stretches from a few years ago, honestly, those two songs. And then the last song that we wrote was Centipede. I literally finished the lyrics as I was recording them. And that was right around when you played Million Eyes last year, I would say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when we were finishing up recording, was when we were putting out that song.
So yeah, this has been a very long process of like getting these songs together, getting this out. So like we are very eager to finally share it with people.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot goes into music. Usually the bands that don't put a lot of effort into it don't really go far.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good that it took you guys that long, in the studio and writing it.
Exactly. And the last thing we wanted to do was like we wanted like content to give to people, not just music. The last thing we wanted was just to release this only to get like 50 to 100 likes on Facebook and Instagram, and then people forgot about it after that. Like we want this to go as far as possible.
Well, what do you guys think about the whole like music industry kind of thing now? Because like streaming, Spotify, and all that stuff is like the big thing, and then like because like I know some bands want to put out albums and some bands just want to put out like EPs now because they're like, oh, singles do better.
We've thought about it a couple different ways. Before we changed our name and really settled on this kind of rebranding that we're doing, our initial plan was to release several singles, and Dearborn and Choke were going to be just singles released as From Hollow Veins. But I think we found that just releasing singles, while it is easier and they do get more attention right now, it maybe doesn't have the longevity and maybe not the same amount of respect from people for not releasing longer form stuff. Yeah. I think there's a kind of permanence in an album that doesn't exist from a single or an EP.
Of course.
And I think we're actually seeing, like, for example, I think vinyl is coming back.
And now,
and
if that's the case, people need to do albums, long albums.
And I think and I'm not putting down streaming, it's great. But I think music fans are so dedicated because it speaks to them that they want every aspect of it. They want the artwork. They want to own it themselves. And it becomes like, that's why, albums are so important to people, because they own them. They own the whole physical copy, as opposed to just, because in my opinion, buying something and owning it is way more fulfilling than just like searching it on an app and playing it. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. But in my opinion, it makes music more fulfilling.
Yeah.
And I think music fans, because music is so important to them, they understand that, and that's why the vinyl sales and even physical CD sales are coming back.
I do love with just, I guess, the current modern wave of music, the accessibility of it, that people are recording it so simply in their homes and releasing it on their own, websites or free platforms or whatever, and they're getting, careers, and people are hearing them from this. So that's one thing I do love about the modern state of music, is that because of the internet and the accessibility of recording, is people can almost go around the industry if they choose to, because the industry can be a pain, as we're finding out.
Usually you need to know somebody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get your foot in the door. I mean, just look at Jared Dines, the guy on YouTube. He started out on YouTube making just silly videos. Like, here's
Suicide Silence.
Yeah.
Did they start on that too?
No. I was just saying that Suicide Silence thing that Jared Dines did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I don't follow a lot of his stuff, but I know he he did Metallica on a banjo, right? Or he did Metallica backwards and like weird stuff like that. It was funny. I think he put a string on a shovel.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Like a couple of things like that, and all of a sudden he's playing with like Trivium. He filled in for Trivium when he wasn't there. He's touring with whoever. Like, he did something with Corey Taylor one time of Slipknot. Like, it's just crazy how you start on YouTube, you can get this far.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, it makes it a little bit harder because YouTube is open to everybody, and that makes the competition a little harder. So it's easier and harder at the same time. It's easier because, it's so easy that anybody can upload their music, but it's harder because everybody does that.
Oversaturation.
Exactly.
It's like
he
is a very musically talented person, but like you said, he got famous for being funny. And I guess in a perfect world, he could just be a musician, but I guess that would be wasting his talent.
He does have a serious band. I
Right.
I remember him posting about it, but I feel like no one ever talks about it.
Right.
He doesn't really have to at this point. He's just known as being like a guest guitarist or something, whatever. Or a fill-in guitarist, like I said, for Trivium. Like, that's awesome, dude. But going back to vinyl, I totally agree that vinyl is coming back. I was talking to Mike of the Devil Wears Prada, and he was talking about his like how his vinyl collection inspired him to make a really cool vinyl, putting that stuff out there. So are you guys trying to push vinyl at all? You guys trying to look into that?
I've been thinking about it because I have one friend in my ear who's been telling me nonstop how much he loves vinyl, so I could tell it's coming back. We don't have any immediate plans, but at near future, I guess is going to be something we're looking into.
Yeah, we're not rolling anything out.
We got to expand the merch line a little bit and get some stuff that just every band needs to have or whatever, and then and then when we need another thing, it'll definitely be vinyl.
Stickers.
Yeah, we actually don't have stickers. I'm gonna get those made before our next show in December.
People love stickers. They love sticking them everywhere. You guys should play the Meat Locker here in Montclair.
Yeah,
Mike
literally texted me about that. He said, like, these are the open dates for the Meat Locker, and definitely if it's a big thing. Then
it's I sent that to him as well. It was pretty funny. Because Meat Lockers. So do you guys know about the Meat Locker?
I know of it because of Mike.
I never heard of it until he texted me about it. But,
really?
I would love to. I looked it up. I would love to play there.
Yeah,
It's a really interesting venue. It's really dirty and really grimy, but it's a meat locker, and I feel
love
like
it.
every band should at least play there once to get the feel for it.
I want to play there a bunch. I want to work on Jersey a lot more than
We've only
usually
played
do.
one show in Jersey, and
I don't think it was
not
really
very good.
involved in your
Where was
real
it?
music scene. I don't even
It was
remember
at some
the show.
restaurant.
Yeah, it
they
almost
gave
looked
us
like a
free food,
restaurant.
so I'll give them props for that. But
Was it Mexicali or
It
Debonair?
wasn't It was like a pub and grill type deal, like burgers and
okay.
fries. And
Do you know
beers or
where?
whatever.
Like town?
Nah, it was
That's
a-
the thing. It was in a
while
weird area. It was in a weird area.
Didn't
There was
Roberto
we-
leave his guitar there, and we
He
had to
did.
go all
It
the way
was a
back
whole
from
ordeal.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, he had to use someone else's guitar for a couple
Sorry
shows.
to throw Roberto under the bus. but-
Well, so that's actually awesome because I love getting tour stories or fun stories about bands and whatnot. What do you guys have going on for your tour?
Tours, unfortunately, it's just tough with the time we're coming into right now in the winter. And but we're gonna be booking a lot of like I guess individual shows. Hopefully, just here, honestly, and other tri-state area type deals because we're all from New York.
But we will be touring in 2020.
In
That
2020,
that is a
it's going to
fact.
be a heavy touring year, starting in the spring. For
You got like dates confirmed or
No,
just
nothing yet. But
Not
we're
confirmed.
we're talking to our manager and like we're working out the dates. And we wanted to do something in January to promote the album. Unfortunately, with the timing and just with January, we couldn't get it done. It's still coming out in January, but
But January is totally brutal, touring
exactly,
here.
exactly.
At least on the East Coast.
Yeah, we were trying to get away from the East Coast and then start, maybe south or whatever.
But definitely, I think the earliest you
But
can
yeah.
expect us to be on the road is probably around March 2020. Nothing's booked just yet, but we're getting on it right now.
So what day does the release fall on?
Friday, January 17th.
Okay, so it's a Friday night. That's cool. You guys think you could play like a hometown show?
That's
yeah.
something we're definitely
Yeah.
looking into right now is some type of show or party in general. Absolutely.
Is I'm not sure where you are in Long Island, but like Amityville, is that like
It's
a
pretty
home-
close. That's where we usually play is
I
Amityville
was gonna
Music
say.
Hall or Revolution is most of our shows. So that is kind of something we're
Yeah,
thinking
we are
about.
playing at Revolution on December 7th.
December 7th.
Yeah, that's our last show of 2019.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just funny. Whenever I hear Long Island, I think of like three venues. I think of Amityville, I think of Paramount, and I think of Jones Beach.
We're from Huntington, right down the street from the Paramount.
Oh, are you guys right next to McKenna then?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
he
cool.
was where he used to live when he was a kid is literally 1 block away from me.
Oh, okay. So you guys are all right there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do is play more music. Actually, you know what? We were talking about Slipknot before. Let's do that. I'm gonna play a Critical Darling for you guys.
Woo!
Because that song is awesome.
That's my favorite song off the new album, by the way,
Cool. So what do you like about it? Give a nice little intro for it.
because it combines everything great about the new album all into one song. The John Carpenter horror movie feel, the heaviness of it, the sound, the atmosphere, the sound effects, the amazing catchy chorus, Corey's vocal performance. It just captures everything that I love about the album into one song. So here you go. Hey, it's Ben from Detachment, and you're listening to the Metal Teddy Bear Experience.
Perfect. There we go, guys. We're having fun here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair with Detachment. What's up, dudes?
What's up?
I'm using a headphone with no soft foam on the ear, so it's not comfortable. There we go.
That's true.
Much better. All right, so we've been killing some tunes. You heard a double dose of Slipknot. That was Solway Firth off We Are Not Your Kind. And we also heard Critical Darling. In my opinion, the best two tracks. What do you guys say?
Definitely Critical Darling's my favorite. I like Saltway Firth, but I wouldn't say it's my second favorite song of the album.
What would be your second favorite on it?
Red Flag.
Really?
Yeah,
I
dude.
could have sworn you were going to say Orphan.
Orphan's good too, but Red Flag is just everything you love about Slipknot.
I feel like everyone's been talking about Orphan just because, all right, so by everyone, I mean like band people. So, for example, Nurgle was talking all about that. I think Joe from Gojira was talking about Orphan. And then we did a review on Metal Insider as well, and the person who wrote it, Zane, was talking so highly of Orphan. So
I mean,
it's just pretty funny.
I love Orphan, and I especially love, like I said about Critical Darling, I love that little sci-fi John Carpenter horror movie-esque thing at the end of Orphan, where it sounds like it's from an alien movie. You know that part I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
At the very end. Yeah, I love that. That's like my favorite thing about this album. So I definitely love Orphan. But definitely Critical Darling and Red Flag are my two favorites.
Okay. So just speaking on the production side of things, I really do enjoy the production on that record. So you guys is Detachment. If you guys can pick any producer you guys for your album, who would it be?
I don't know that we have somebody specific, to be honest with you. I I definitely know what we.
I mean, we grew up with, the Joey Sturgis style of metalcore with, like, all the albums
Yeah,
that
and
he
if
did.
you listen to our old music, you can definitely hear that influence, because one of our From Hollow
The influence,
Veins
not the
EPs
production.
Yeah, the production. No, the production too, honestly. One of our old EPs was produced by a guy who used to work for Joey Sturgis, so he made it sound similar to that style of music. Since then, we've definitely got more into that. Like, I don't know I don't know a specific person, to be honest with you. I guess I'm a bad musician in that way, but
No,
definitely
it's
that
not.
more, that real metal style that everyone's going for right now with, we
Yeah.
bought amps that don't totally suck and guitars that are pretty good, and we're trying to get good actual tones, not have computers do the work,
Yeah, of
But,
course.
Because you got to pull it off live,
right.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. Like, I was talking to Hammerfall, and they're power metal, not really heavy at all.
Right.
But he made a good comment where he said that every time he goes and writes a record, he makes it for live, like a live track. You know what I mean? So like everything he does, he's like, "Can I play this live? Will this translate live? Like, will this work out?" And I think that's like a lot of bands got to do that more.
It's
Because
something,
you'll
it's
see
something
like
I'm
opening
thinking about
bands
more,
and
yeah.
they don't work. You know what I mean?
right.
It's kind of weird. Like, have you guys noticed that?
I've noticed that, and I'll be very honest with our own music, is the music that we wrote for this EP that we've been playing a bunch recently. There are some parts that I noticed that are not perfect for a live setting, and our next music is going to be thought of strictly for that. Because you're right, being at shows is when it matters the most, and that's when you're feeling music. And if you're not feeling it live, then what's really the point? So there's a couple parts in particular I won't point out because then people will think about it.
Yeah,
But
right.
there's a couple parts where I know that I need to think about ways to get the energy up for a live setting that next time we'll just write a little bit differently, keep parts a little shorter, put parts in different songs,
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, this is a EP, so I mean, it's your starting point.
Absolutely.
So,
and I'm very proud of it as a starting point.
Yeah.
I think it's
I think it's actually usually I feel like EPs don't have like the best production value or the best like value in a way. It's kind of usually raw, but I feel like you guys definitely put out a great EP,
I
great
think
starting point.
I think we have a great friend in Steve Murphy from Westfall. He's recorded this, and the last songs that we released is from Hollow Veins, but this EP he produced all of also, and he does do a lot of work on it and making sure it comes out very nice. They do have high expectations, high standards. Yeah, I'm proud of what he did. Definitely.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I would say a producer that I always wanted to work with. I mean, I'm not a great of a musician as it is, but if I did, Will Putney.
Yeah, absolutely.
For people who don't know, he's in Fit for an Autopsy, but he also has like a whole side gig production wise. He's done so many bands, Counterparts, and he actually did Norma Jean's brand new album.
Oh wow.
Oh
I
hell
didn't know
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. Because I think his is his studio called the Machine Shop, or is that the other dude that was in Jersey?
I'm not sure.
He's from Jersey. He's from
I
Belleville.
think the Machine Shop is the guy who did Suicide Silence. This is a blast from the past, but Suicide Silence, No Time to Bleed.
Wow.
The guy's name was Machine.
Oh, that's why it's called the Machine Shop.
Maybe. I could be wrong about that. Don't call me on that. But
Okay.
The only reason I knew that is because I watched those videos of them recording that album 10 years ago when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
While I was drinking coffee.
There you go. Well, I mean, those videos. I love band updates. I love.
Yeah, me too.
Like, did you watch Norma Jean? We were always talking about them tonight. But Polar Similar, did you watch their making
I
the
actually
album?
didn't. I fell off of watching a lot of videos about bands, unfortunately. Just
Yeah.
life gets busy and you get old or
Of course,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I kind of fell off watching a lot of those. I actually found out what they looked like for the first time because I haven't had the pleasure of seeing them yet. But I found out what they first looked like for the first time from that Kerrang video that they did recently. Did you see that
Yeah,
one?
I was there. That was awesome.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
that was in the
awesome.
gutter.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure McKenna was there as well.
Really?
Yeah, I'm losing track of who was there and whatnot. Cause
Super jealous.
dude, there's
That's
been
awesome.
so many good bands there. You guys gotta if you can, pay attention because it's like first come first serve.
Right.
So if you don't respond immediately, you can't get in.
Yeah.
It's a very small dive kind of place. They had Baroness there. They had Sum 41 there.
Wow.
They've had Vane.
Nice.
Dude, Knock Loose, Jesus Peace,
Nice.
Norma Jean, obviously. Fit for an Autopsy. Dude, they just have so many bangers there. It's awesome. After the Burial was actually supposed to be there, but Anthony, the vocalist, tweaked his back, so he wasn't able to go. But yeah, I would actually definitely reach out, see if you guys can play the Gutter, because I love small venues with like, especially with your style of music.
Absolutely.
They always work out like so well.
Yeah, 2020 is going to be our biggest shows touring year. So like any venues that we could use, we'd gladly add it to our list of things to do.
And speaking of touring, do you guys have any fun tour stories that you want to talk? You guys talked about like losing your guitar, guitarist's guitar, anything fun like that?
Yeah, that time. Yeah, that time was just as simple as getting. He got a little drunk, left his guitar in Jersey. The rest of the tour using other people's guitars every day, which is always a pain. You know, our style of music, all these drop tunings, we play in drop B. So finding somebody else who's in drop B, you know, most people are higher than
Seven
higher
string
or lower
just
than
eight?
that.
Oh, sorry, seven
No,
or six.
we use for guitars. We use 6 strings actually. Our guitarist Nick uses Fender Telecaster, so really not meant for what we're doing, which is my favorite
I was gonna
thing.
say.
Yeah, we're trying to get those like kind of hardcore, twangy vibes in some of the like the I don't know, trying to get a unique sound. And our other guitarist uses an SG, Gibson SG. So very standard guitars that we're just making work for what we're doing. Yeah,
Of course. I mean, you gotta.
our bassist has a 5-string Schecter, I believe. I don't know like what kind of bass.
He's the newest member to join the band.
He is.
So
He's a lefty.
I give him a shout out.
How many members have you guys gone through?
Oh, that's a good question.
As Detachment, technically, this is our lineup.
Yeah.
But as a band of me, Ben, and Roberto together, we've been through a bunch of people, mostly bassists.
So you guys been like the corn, the core.
We're the corn of the band. I wouldn't say the core. I would say the corn.
Children of the Corn.
Not like the band, like the food.
But we're still on good terms with our ex-bassist before Morgan.
Yeah, all of our ex-members we're honestly still so close with.
Because we're a family, you know, like we're all still good friends.
We've always described what we're doing as a family before a band, which is kind of weird for, I guess, to think about a bunch of high school kids saying. But yeah, we've always said like for Christmas we get together and celebrate the family dinner with the people that we've associated with, not just the band.
Yeah.
So
And we just buy ridiculous amounts of fast food and just hate ourselves the next day.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great night. Sounds like my usual nights.
Yeah.
I'll go to Wendy's instead of buying the 1 4 for 4. I get 2 4 for 4s.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I hate myself after. But that's funny that you say that because a lot of like I feel like a misconception usually when there's like a breakup or band member leaves, it's usually bad.
It definitely can be.
Yeah, it can be, but I feel like it's not always when people leave. It's like I just want to spend time with my family, or I just want to do this. Like actually, if you look at Slayer, I don't think they hate each other. They're just Tom Araya just wants to stop.
Right.
Where I feel like Harry King still wants to go. So
Are they still? Are they? But they're not on good terms with Dave Lombardo, though, are they?
No, like that one. That was a whole money thing,
Yeah,
and that was a lot of people were saying that's because of him and Carrie about the. So apparently Dave was hired as like a hired gun, like a session guy, and getting a flat rate. Where he says he was part of the band.
He played on like their most iconic albums. Like it sucks to think that like these them with Jeff, the 4 of them, rest in peace, that they created so much art together that spoke to millions of people, and yet they're not on good terms. You know, that kind of sucks to think about. But you know,
definitely.
it is what it is.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why Dave left the first time.
Right.
And then they're back now. But, you know, business and band relationships, it's all weird.
Yeah.
It's I feel like you could do the same thing about sports as well.
Yeah.
We don't know anything
business
about
always
that.
first.
Personally, and obviously money's not coming in, but technically everything's split. We're not going to play a money game like that.
Yeah.
Not that there's money to be had.
All right, so on my show, I asked 3 random silly questions. You guys ready to take part in that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. What movie would be awesome, or in your opinion, be awesome, replaced with Danny DeVito, the lead character?
All of them. All of them.
The Terminator.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito is the Terminator.
That's a good one.
I'll be back. I mean, I can't even do his voice.
Exactly. How do you do that? You just gotta.
Rum ham. You know, when he's like, I'll be back. you know?
Always Sunny's the best, and he's the best on it. So I would take him in any movie over most people.
I find that so funny, too, because, like, our generation or our age knows him from Always Sunny, but he had a whole career way before that.
Yeah, I grew up with Matilda, you know, and him being in that. I remember him from that.
Yeah, I actually remember him from Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
With Arnold, funny enough. But yeah, no. So I got Mission Impossible. I got in Titanic, where it was like, oh, he's gonna be Leonardo, and then he's like, no, he's gonna be Kate Winslet.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I just
something
picture Leonardo
romantic.
holding him on the
Yeah.
boat. Like that's the first image that comes to my mind.
We just gotta Photoshop these right now. I love that question. There's so many good ones. Someone said Brokeback Mountain.
Oh my god! All right, we'll add Terminator to the list.
Yeah, Terminator now too. So all fun options are here. Question number 2. I always get a good response from this. What's one of the worst things you've tasted?
I work at pet stores and always have my entire adult life. I tasted all of the. I don't know if you know about animals, but there's a product called bitter apple that makes dogs not chew on stuff because it's just made with the most bitter stuff on earth. That it ruins your mouth for like a while.
Really?
So I actually have
it's the most bitter thing on earth.
I actually have a pretty gross story, and it's technically not food, but
I mean, that wasn't food. I ate a dog anti-biting product,
So,
I could recommend it to customers better.
can't believe I'm about to say this on live radio right now, but I accidentally drank my ex-bassist piss once.
Oh,
So
man.
what happened was I was in my basement with my guitarist Roberto and Luke, God bless his soul. He pissed in a Taco Bell cup and he just left it there.
Dude.
and I didn't know what it was, so we're just sitting there. I just grab it. Now this is gross on my part for drinking like what I thought was a day old soda, but I just take one little sip of it. And here's the funny part: Rob over here is a vegan. So for a split middle second, I thought it was like some weird vegan drink, but like, nope, that's not it.
Dude, cringing right now. I had a similar.
pretty bad.
I've seen.
I had a similar story too when I asked this question from Trevor of Black Dahlia Murder.
Nice.
He says when you're on tour, you just got to go, what you have around,
Basically.
And they just went to Wawa, and he just bought a lemonade, like a Wawa lemonade, and it wasn't his lemonade that he drank.
Damn.
So it's kind of funny that happened to you too. But damn, dude,
Yeah, it was bad.
at least you didn't chug the whole thing.
No,
I'm
just
so
like
thirsty right now.
One little speck, I knew what it was, but
Oh man,
it's still.
why do you just leave it there?
I don't know.
know.
I think he
Why'd
was
he
just messing.
do it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Either he was lazy or he was
Leaves
just
more
trying to mess. I think he was
questions
just trying to
than
mess with us.
Oh god, dude, that's brutal. That's a good answer though. Appreciate that. But another thing too, how'd you get to tasting that bitter apple?
There's 3 different ones, and I tasted them all to tell people which one tasted the worst.
So you just did it willingly? It wasn't-
People said, like, which one's the worst?
Wow. Dude, I wouldn't even do that's dedication to the craft. Like, I
I'm
want to do
trying to
that.
get my $8 an hour.
Earned it that day.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right, so I know that one's always fun to ask. All right, question number 3. What's something you do in your downtime? Movies, TV. What do you do? Not music related.
I've been watching just one by one. I've been watching all the sitcoms I missed out on because I'm just bad at pop culture, and I'm catching up on just a lifetime's worth of pop culture. I'm almost done with Seinfeld right now. 'Cause
Oh, wow.
Ben's really into Seinfeld.
I am.
How many years is that? Was that
I
on?
don't know. I
It was
think
like it ended 20 years ago. Ended in '98, so
Yeah, but,
21 years ago.
But it's a lot of seasons though.
it's like 9, I think.
Yeah.
Rob is the Jerry of the group. I'm the George of the group.
Yeah.
Do we all have a friend group where we can just name characters and
Yeah,
stuff?
that's what we do.
I definitely have a George in my group.
That's nice.
He's such a George, and he doesn't like it. But
I love it. I love being the George.
Dude, George Costanza is so funny.
He's the funniest.
Yeah.
We can all relate to him.
Yeah, there's so many good ones. Like we actually had a pretty good '70s show set up too.
Yeah.
Because like my basement was the place to hang out, so I was always Eric, and we always had people for that. So it's kind of funny. But is a '70s show on your list?
I watched that. Yeah. I definitely watched that whole thing with my girlfriend. Yeah.
She made me watch Friends.
She made me watch Friends.
every
she made me watch
episode.
Friends. Yeah, that's
All
what
10
started
seasons.
it. That's what started it. Was she made me watch Friends, and then
I mean, not to hate on Friends, it's a pretty good show.
It's
but
good.
she loves it. It's like one of her favorites of all time. So sorry if you're listening, Tosh. I love it too.
I guess what I do in my spare time, I love 80s horror movies. I'm such a nerd with that. But I also, polar opposite of that, I just got Disney Plus. So
Oh, you caved?
I did.
Conformist? No, I'm
Nick,
kidding.
our guitarist, got Disney Plus too.
there you go. There you
We
go.
were watching Star
Well,
Wars.
I mean,
the other
There
day.
you,
Rogue
Star
One.
Wars. It's not just the Disney Princess movie. It's got Star Wars
Yes.
and Disney Pixar and all that other awesome stuff.
They have a lot of
So-
good things going on right now. Just Mandalorian alone kind of makes me want to cave and buy it. but I'm gonna hopefully get a friend to get it, and I'll take their password.
Right.
Wink, wink, everyone. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what you do.
But the Jason Momoa, the guy who plays Aquaman, he has a new show called Sea.
Mhm.
That looks brutal. I actually want to see that. I'm kind of a fan of his stuff.
Yeah, it's the
It's like whatever, how many years after like humanity's like collapsed or whatever,
okay.
and there's like a couple of them
I
left.
did see that.
It looks pretty brutal.
I did see the commercial for that.
BoJack
Hoffman was
Horseman is
talking
ending.
about it.
I'm so upset about that.
You know,
But,
I never actually got into that.
I love it. I got into it late, but literally the first joke of the first episode, I was hooked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was going through a really rough time, and it got me through that rough time because like it's a very dark show, and it really speaks to you. So like it has a very personal.
Well, Will Arnett
connection
is
to
the
me.
man.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome, and it's such a deep, messed up show, but it's so amazing. And
I
its
love how
endings.
like people can gravitate towards TV shows like that. Like you said, you were having a tough time,
Mhm.
and you did that. Like I actually had that as well with Arrested Development, which is another Will Arnett show. But what we're gonna do right now is we take a nice little musical break because my show is about to end. So we're actually play your song right now, Million Eyes. We'll do that one again. First single and the first time playing it on the show. I remember you guys telling me that. That's really awesome. So thank you guys for doing
No
that.
problem.
Absolutely.
And I hope you guys have been enjoying your time here on the show.
So much fun.
Yeah, we love it.
And one more time, Gaslight. When's it coming out?
Friday, January 17th.
And that was Million Eyes by Detachment, who is in studio right now. What's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
All right, so that is the end of the Metal Teddy Bear Experience. I am off, and Digging with the Crate is up next. But shout out to you guys, Ben and Rob, for coming here, joining me on my show. I really appreciate you guys coming all the way from Long Island.
It was a pleasure.
Talk about the
Absolutely.
Gaslight EP, January 17th, right? Friday?
That's right.
Yep.
There we go. So,
Pre-order.
yeah, if you guys ever want to comment again, more than welcome. If you guys want to
Absolutely.
call
Let's
in,
do it.
Absolutely.
we're going to do it. So, all right, good night, folks.
And